Hey there, it's Ingrid here again from Beginners Photography Blog and Camera Shy, and this week I'm in sunny, or maybe not so sunny, Florida, and I thought I'd take the chance to give you a little hands-on review of a camera that my dad actually brought with him, and it's called the Canon S95. It's a Powershot camera. Now this camera has been around for a couple of years, so it has actually now been replaced by the S110, but I just thought I would give you a quick overview on this camera because I'm really excited to use it. It's really nice, and then we can do a compare with the new camera and see what the differences are. So the Powershot S95 is a very high spec compact camera. As you can see, it's really small, it fits pretty much into the palm of my hand, and it's a really good little camera for anybody that likes to take photos that are just a little bit more than what they can get with their phone. So it's really good for people who are already used to using a digital SLR, and if you like to use the manual exposure mode such as aperture priority, shutter priority, and even manual exposure. Or even if you just are trying to experiment with your photography a little bit and you want to move a little bit outside of just point and shoot, this would be a great camera for you. Now the first thing that you notice on the camera, it has a really big 3-inch LCD screen. This means that there's no viewfinder on the camera, which can be a little bit off-putting for some people, but honestly, because it's so big and it's so clear, I find that it isn't a problem to use at all. You have the command dial up here, or sorry, the mode dial up here, just like you have in the digital SLR, and you have all the same sort of modes, the P, the TV, the AV, M, and then of course you have a whole bunch of scene modes that you can set for specific types of photography, and you can have good fun playing around with those. The lens is a really bright 2.0 lens, which if you know anything about photography means that you can shoot in really low light, and you don't need to use your flash because that aperture can open wide up to really let a lot of light in through f2.0. And this also has a wide angle lens, which is good for taking landscapes or group shots, and means that you don't have to zoom way back or move way back, but you can use the wide angle lens for that. And this has a 3.8 optical zoom lens, which is a little on the small side. I think that is something that they have really improved on the newer versions of this camera, so I think they've gone up to a 5x optical zoom now, which is a little better, but considering it's such a small little compact body, it's pretty impressive to even have that wide angle plus a bit of a zoom in there too. So the one thing that I really love about this little S95 camera is that it really feels nice to use in your hand. They've got a nice little coating on the body, which is gives it a little bit of a grip, and plus they have this little ring here at the front. I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but this ring can be fully customized to whatever you want it to be. So for example, right now I have it set to control the ISO because I've been shooting a lot in low light here, and we've been using this camera with no flash, so I wanted to push the ISO up and play around with it. So rather than having to go in and play around with a menu, I can do that at a really easy touch of a button here, or not even a touch of a button, by turning this dial. You could also set this dial for, let's see what it has here. You have exposure compensation, which I talked about in my last video. You can have it set to control focus, white balance, even the zoom. So if you like that feeling of zooming out like with your digital SLR, this is quite similar to that by using this custom ring function button here right at the top. The S95 also has a really good movie mode, and it will capture 720p movie in high definition, which is really more than you need if you're just going to be watching it back on your computer or making little iMovies. It's really a nice feature to have in the camera, and it's all in one, so you don't have to worry about taking another device with you. So that's nice, and we've had fun with that, with the girls playing in the water on the beach and all that kind of stuff. That has been good. And one of the awesome features with this camera, if you're used to using a digital SLR, is this camera actually can shoot in RAW, not just in JPEG, which means that you have full control over all of your exposure settings, your white balance, and if you're used to using a digital SLR and shooting in RAW, then this is a really nice complement to that. So for example, I didn't want to take my big camera down onto the beach with me because, you know, sand gets everywhere, but we just popped this little camera into like a Ziploc bag, and then we can take it out, out, play with it on the beach, you know, take photos of the girls running up and down, and this has been perfect. But I can still have that full editing capabilities that I have with my bigger camera with this little compact camera. So the main differences between this particular camera and newer models of the same, or newer versions of the same camera, seem to be that they have increased the zoom size to a 5x optical zoom, which is nice. They've changed this LCD screen on the back to also be a touch screen. Now I have to be honest, I'm not a huge fan of the touchscreen LCD screen because you tend to get fingerprints all over it, but you know, now with iPhones and iPads and that, we're kind of already used to using a touch screen, so you know, it's just a matter of wiping it off. They've also included a wireless technology so that you can transfer your photos directly from your camera to a printer if you have a wireless printer. And I think it also has the new Canon HS technology, which means that it's very good for shooting in low light, which I already find that this is great for shooting in low light, so I can only imagine the S110 is even better for that. So all in all, I would have to say that I really love this little camera, and I'm kind of envious that my dad has it. Maybe I might consider getting one of the S110s for just, you know, everyday shooting. As somebody who doesn't like to have to carry the DSLR around with me all the time, this would be something that I would think would really complement my kit. And you know, just there's always times when you don't want to bring your DSLR. I'd also recommend this for somebody who is interested in getting into photography but doesn't want the full expense of a digital SLR. Now these cameras are the high end of the Canon compact range, and I think they run around $379, which definitely isn't cheap, but it might be something that would be worthwhile as an investment in, just to see if you can get a feel for manual photography, being able to control your exposure and playing around with some of the settings. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, like it and share it with your friends. And if you have the Canon Powershot S95 or any of the later versions, I'd love to hear what you have to say about it in the comments below. So let me know your thoughts, and be sure to subscribe to my channel and subscribe over at the blog if you would like to get the next video in your inbox. I'll speak to you the next time. Take care. Bye bye.